Hey YouTube, this is Pedro here. Thank you so much for once again checking out the third in my series Coffee Streamers, where I discuss a very interesting topic. Streaming and worship? How's that a thing? Well, only one way to find out when you finish this great discussion I have with my friends Shades and DJ Para. Their Twitch channels are in the description below, and you'll really see how we really can view video games as an act of worship. As per usual, if you like this video, please hit that like button. You want to see more Coffees with Streamers, hit that subscribe button, get notified anytime we have one go live. We'll be doing one discussion like that once a week. So thank you guys again. Hope you guys enjoy, and God bless. Man, so y'all know how this stream normally works for the most part. This isn't a gaming stream. If you're looking for some gameplay, I apologize. We're just chit-chatting. We got the coffee right here up right next to us, so feel free to pour yourself. We're going to open up the word. It's kind of like just a moment of chit-chatting, some fellowship, kind of things going on. What goes on in the mind of other streamers we have. So we have a couple friends going to be joining us this morning. We got one special guest, and y'all already saw she is online already. We got our good friend HerShades. Yeah, that's right. The professional Halo player herself will be joining us today. We also got Dabster Plays. He said he may or may not be joining us. Kind of depends on some family stuff going on. But we're still happy to have Shades with us today. She is awesome. She's great. We're going to go ahead and shoot her a call real quick, see if we can get her online. Let me see if I can get these things. Let's see what's up. Oh, and she's spreading that. Appreciate you, Shades. Thanks for go ahead and hosting that share. All right. Oh, we just got the thing. Looks like she's ready as well. Here we go. Let's go ahead and send that to her. We're going to switch things over, actually.
Hello.
Good morning, Shades. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good. How about you?
It's a morning. That's the best way I can describe it. I don't know about you. Like today, it felt like a morning off. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's definitely a morning off for sure. I'm ready to go. Got my coffee, got my Bible, ready for this conversation. The holidays around the corner.
Oh, isn't it like it's still blowing my mind how it's like 2 days away. That's I still got Christmas
Yes,
shopping to finish.
for sure. Like again, it doesn't feel. Well, I mean, I live in Florida, so it doesn't even feel like December, but it's like
You know,
it came out of
tech.
nowhere.
True, Texas pulled a fast one on us this time, and it really kind of pulled me ugly because it's actually been really cold the last couple of days. Like I've been wearing beanies, sweats, like my thick jacket, and now it's slowly warming up. It looks like we're gonna have 90 on Christmas Day, and I'm like, only in Texas would that actually be a thing. Everyone in the chat, I know them personally. They're all local people, and I could tell they're gonna be like, yeah, that's true. That's how Texas works for the most part. Definitely. Oh, isn't it fun for the most part? Hey, Shades, I do have one favor to ask. If it's okay, you don't have to. It's totally cool. It's something I was thinking about the other day. So, would it be too much trouble for you to possibly turn your camera on? If it is, it's not no big deal. I was just curious.
Oh, I'm not ready right now.
Okay, cool. We'll keep it
I
as
would
is.
if I was.
That's totally cool. No, that. It's kind of one of those things I didn't think about till this morning, and I'm like, dude, it's like 10 o'clock. Half of us probably
Yeah.
aren't even up. Like, let's just be honest here. Like, I was like, so we'll tell you, we'll just ask and kind of see how things go, and whatever happens, happens. So that's totally cool. That'll be probably something I'm thinking in the future, just so people aren't looking at, my ugly mug all day. So, at least all morning for the most part. But no biggie. Yeah, it's no biggie. It'll still be fruitful anyways for the most part. So, I feel like we just gotta go ahead and dive into it. Yeah, you think that's cool?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. So, this is a topic that I have been. We're lit. Oh yeah, there we. I agree. I agree. Spaghettios. We are definitely lit. And he said we had the. I don't know about that. Hey, Spaghettios. Real quick, man. This is a family-friendly channel, so let's kind of avoid comments like that, man. We kind of want to keep things PG for the most part. I know it's not the worst thing ever, but let's just a heads up there. Okay, cool. So anyway. So the word I got, it's actually from one of my favorite stories. It's very, very popular, mainly just because of the way Jesus handles it is so, like, there's so many things you can get from. Of course, I'm talking about Jesus and the woman of Samaria. We all know that one. Specifically, I'm looking at John chapter 4, and I'm going to start looking at, you probably know which one I'm talking about, actually. We're start at verse 19. It says, "The woman said to him, 'Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain, but you say that in Jerusalem is the place where people ought to worship.' Jesus said to her, 'Woman, believe me, The hour is coming when neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem will you worship the Father. You worship what you do not know, or we worship what we know. For salvation is from the Jews. I lost my line for a bit there. But the hour is coming. This is the big one. The hour is coming and is now here where the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father is seeking such people to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth. So, okay, appreciate you, SpaghettiOs. So, Shades, I like to think I've known you for a bit now, like what, like 4 or 5 months now. Like I think I've lost track. So I know how your channel works for the most part. So this is kind of like the tough question, not really the tough question, definitely to start the conversation. So for you and your channel specifically, like those of y'all who don't know, we talk a lot about like spiritual disciplines and how we apply to Twitch. How would you say when you stream is your act of worship? We're talking about worship today, folks. I know it was coming because I'm a worship studies major. So how would you say, Shades, that you and your channel and your community is participating in one act of worship?
I mean, I would say like worship is simply. This is stuff like again youth pastors would like always talk about like how it's not just always singing to God, although that is like one of the obvious forms of worship.
Well, she said the magic words. Stream over, chat over right there.
But worship itself is literally dedicating everything that we do for God, really.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you can even, and it was crazy because in college I used to go on bike rides. Like I lived in an area where it was like downtown by water. So it was just like wow, like we have such a beautiful like area around my college, my dorm. So if I needed time to get away, I would just like literally go drive or like skateboard outside, put on some like music, especially like Christian music, worship music. Take like you could take your Bible or even like your phone app and just like go somewhere and just like enjoy I guess the world around you, but also like taking that time to really reflect and dedicate to God and spend that time with God, and essentially it was worship, and it's all about also the reverence to God. It's giving praise to Him, it's turning to Him when you need Him, praising Him. But it's all about Him. It's literally everything that you have. It's giving it to Him. So I mean, with streaming, in a sense, you can worship Him through gaming and streaming. Well, I guess more through streaming when you game, because I would say it's a little bit tough to just game by yourself and say it's worship for God.
Accurate.
When you're doing it with streaming, with the mindset and purpose of I'm doing this to glorify Him and to reach people, then that could be an act of worship.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So, okay, for starters, I had to, like, refocus, because when you said, yeah, I go out and skateboard, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Like, that threw me through a loop.
That was in college. I used to, like, pennyboard a ton.
Oh, really? Okay, well, Shades, you just got, like, 10 points on the awesome board right there. So, I was like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. Shades knows how to skateboard. I'm just imagining you on, like, the beachfront in Florida with your pennyboard and your shades on. I'm like, oh, yeah, coolest kid on the block. So, yeah, so back to what you're saying. Yeah, like, you said it best a minute ago, and I know like specifically Dave Musician, this is like something he's into as well. He's huge into worship. It's not just about the music, and you really like stumble it up, but like I think you would agree with me for the most part when it comes to worship, especially in streaming on Twitch. It's very much like it's not just the gaming. There's so many aspects of it that define worship. I think like would you say it's definitely more of a response?
Yeah.
Conversation done. Yeah.
No, I think definitely worship is a response. It's really cool because there is a I don't know, you like kind of triggered some kind of thought, and I think I've said this maybe on my stream before, talking about there was a study that we did at one of the churches I used to go to, covering how the book of like First John, really talks about our response to God's love for us, and literally our life should like always be a living response to what God has done for us, and living a life literally on fire for Him and loving others, loving Him. So.
In other words, a life of worship, not just like the music thing, but literally a life of worship 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, boom. So like I personally define worship. This is me, and I know Dave Musician just commented. Dave Music, he's like, yes, we don't gather on music, we gather around Jesus, 100%. So Shades, I know you don't know Dave, but Dave and I actually play in a worship band together. So this is like totally something he and I talk about fairly often. But he and I both agree, at least I'm assuming he does. If he doesn't, we're gonna have to have a talk later. Is that I'm off to get ready for the day. Love you. All right, thanks tuning in, SpaghettiOs. Appreciate you, my dude. Have a good day. We'll definitely talk very soon, my friend. Have a good one. So, I view worship definitely as just a response to this is my personal definition of what God has done and what He is doing. And when I think about like your channel and what my channel's trying to do, and Tristan, DJ Para, Dabster Plays, Gilbert, Redeem J, all of our friends that we've all gotten to know, it's everybody kind of has that look at what God has done for me. So I just kind of want to use the skills I have to make His message known. And in this case, it is video games. Which when I say that every time, who would have thought? Who would have thought more than anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, that and I think
100%.
oh, totally. And I think that's what's so much fun. And like I said, we go through the aspects of it. I was thinking about this last night. A big part of worship is fellowship, which we talked about on the very first devotional. And I looked at Redeem J's channel last night. Like, some of the stuff going on in there I was laughing so hard. It was so much fun watching those guys, like especially when Sadeless jumped in, and now they're talking about starting up a whole movement to get him Red Dead, and they're making up these commercials on the spot. Like
That
just
was
seeing that.
hilarious.
Oh, I was literally like having to like step away because I almost like spewed my soda and I didn't want to get my computer equipment wet. But like I just think of that aspect of fellowship, how they're growing together at the same time, just enjoying each other's company, and that was so encouraging to see that, especially because he got rated a lot last night. Like I think Gilbert rated him, I rated him, Shadeless rated him, so he had a lot of people. So it hit the fan in the best way, very quickly, and it was such a blast watching him. And I don't, I that's just something I was thinking about when it comes to like the fellowship aspect of worship. I don't know if you have like anything to go along with that.
Yeah.
I
And
know we're.
also,
Go ahead, go
sorry,
ahead.
I was rereading over the verses here that we also covered here in
Hmm.
this story, and it kind of also brought me the twofold thing. So like obviously like what we're doing could be considered worship, obviously with the right focus.
Hmm.
But I think also in this context we can also be weary. We like tend to drift away from the focus of what we set out to do in glorifying God through streaming and gaming. That streaming and gaming itself could be, we could worship that instead of worshiping the creator through that too. Um, because I think here in like the verses 21 and 22, like Jesus like starts warning about you worship what you do not know. Like worshiping, you can worship things of this world, and obviously I think when the more cheesier like pastor or youth pastor sermons is talking about like worshiping like our phone and our technology and all this stuff, focusing too much like our own social media profiles. So I think there is like a certain balance to where we also have to be like weary, like constantly reminding ourselves of the purpose of why we choose to do this and not putting our own selfish desires before. I guess you can even be draw a kind of not necessarily a parallel, but also like look at when Jesus was tempted in the desert.
Hmm.
Obviously the devil even tempted him to try to like get him off of his focus of why he was set to this earth, to live a perfect life and to bring salvation to the whole world. Where he's super powerful, he could literally just literally create food in the desert if he wanted to for himself, or you know pretty much all the temptations that the devil laid out for him to do, but he didn't give in to that. So um obviously we're only human, but it's another like thing to kind of also be weary of as well. It really is all about the intention behind of what we do, if you're either doing it for yourself or you're doing it for Christ.
And I think that is probably one of the hardest things when it comes to just worship in general is like how do we keep it focused on Christ? Like from the worship leader standpoint, it's so like, being a musician, it's so easy to focus on like the okay, did I play the right notes? Did I sing correctly? Like we didn't make any mistakes, and it's so easy to put that. And when you look at streaming, it's so easy to get caught up on, of course, what's the big thing? Numbers, viewers, raids, follows, all that fun stuff. It's so easy. I don't know about you. I have multiple friends who've attempted streaming, and after their like first few, after no rise, they are just so, and they're Christians too for the most part. I don't know what their intentions were. It never was. I think most of them kind of tried it as a hobby, but was like, okay, yeah, that stream went like awful. It was the worst stream ever. It was like, not a single person came in, and I didn't know what to do. I just kind of said, I didn't know what else to kind of go with. It's like, well, like, and this is me personally. Like, I'd rather have a stream where no one comes in, and I still preach the word somehow, some way when I get scared playing the scary video games, and I somehow slip the gospel in there because that's what I do best when I panic. And someone comes in later because I don't know about you. I have like a 30 day save on my streams, so people could come in later, and they see that. Especially with the people who follow me, and they're like, okay, I'll watch the replay, kind of see what's going on. They hear that, and let's say they don't know. At least that's a seed being planted. At least that's like that. That's a part of the job being done. At least I feel like my role in ministry at that point in time is done. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, 100%. And that's like one of the biggest things I think, even like for us, like daily, and this is something I feel like I've talked about recently on my channel, is like just making sure, like, sometimes I just step away. Because sometimes we can get used to the grind too. Like, there'll be, I know, like, obviously we're focused on school, and now you're getting to the groove, but you start getting like very, very consistent, and it becomes almost repetitive, and you're getting focused on, that growth, which is healthy. It's healthy to obviously have the channel grow. It means you can have the possibility of impacting more people.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like, that's kind of in us. We want to impact more people. You don't want to just impact the one, although it's super important to impact the one, but we want to impact more, make a bigger impact as we can.
I'm not gonna
Um,
lie. I feel like you called me out there ugly. Like that. It's not even funny how bad you called me out there. Because
that's
of.
me too, though. Like,
Oh yeah,
sometimes you just, yeah.
I'm assuming that's everybody, because like let's be honest. I know you and I've talked, and we both are kind of in the mindset of we don't want to go into streaming full time unless God really does something pretty incredible for both our channels. It's kind of something we just kind of want to do just on the side. We have other things we both want to do. But like when school ended for me, I was so excited to get back into streaming. I was like, all right, and of course, there's always growth. And I said out loud, I was like, hey, look, I have the goal of making affiliate by the end of January, but if not, it's not the end of the world. But I think like when I first got back into it, the first 2 to 3 streams were really slow compared to before I had to like take my break to take finals. I was like, man, like even like when I first started, these streams weren't this slow. Like, what is going on? Like we were, yeah, and I really had to like take the time to refocus, kind of get back in the word. I think I just spent like a day or two. I was like, you know what, let's just go ahead and sit, kind of readjust, kind of get refocused onto it. And ever since then, like the streams have been much more fruitful. They've been much more like a lot more fun at the end of the day because I'm relaxed. I'm not looking at the viewer count as much. It has been, yeah. I think that's just something that's healthy for all of us streamers. That's why in my very short, less than 6 month streaming career, I would definitely tell any streamer at all, and especially a Christian one, don't stream daily. Do not stream daily. Like, pick 2 to 3 days out of the week, and I would just do that because you need time for yourself. You need time
Yeah.
to readjust, to refill your own cup before you're just going out there and filling into a channel that may or may not even have viewers in there at that moment because it's so easy to get discouraged.
Oh, 100%. I agree. And I remember, like, my journey as well, like, beginning. Like, it was rough. It's hard to, I mean, first it's like, oh, it's gonna be hard to get the 50 followers, and you get the 50 followers, but then like the 3 average viewers, that could be like tough um
I feel
to
called
like
out again.
maintain. No, but it's true. Like,
Yeah.
everyone who streams and goes through this for the grind for affiliate, it's literally one of the kind of, I don't know, it was long for me to kind of progress,
Oh yeah, no,
to get
the
to
three
affiliate.
the three hardest is definitely one, especially because we both have so many other things that we have going on. It is kind of difficult to keep that three average. I've noticed that. I thought that'd be the
Yeah.
easy part.
Yeah. No, but you'll get there eventually. Like, just keep the faith, keep doing it.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
I'll
and
tell you, like, there were definitely times for my stream where it was maybe one or two people, like, constantly, like, in the chat viewing and talking, and you know what? Those conversations definitely fueled me to keep doing this, and especially when there was times where I was like, okay, I'm not gonna stream anymore. Then I come back a couple of months, and those same people like tune in and are like, why'd you stop streaming? Like, like, they kind of like telling me like you should keep streaming and all this stuff. And update your Discord, be active there, all this stuff. And it's just kind of like encouragement. It's also like saying like, encouragement to just keep doing this. Like, they supported me.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think when it started really listening to that, but also with the focus of, again, what God wants me to do through this, I started to see that growth, and it's like more people started showing up out of like nowhere. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I would just say like keep the faith, especially if you're a Christian streamer, because what we're doing is essentially very different than why other people will want to go out and stream.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the focus for the everyday person who wants to go out and stream is because they they pretty much want to become, I guess you could say, famous, or make gaming and streaming, make a living off of that.
Hold on, you
Yeah,
mean that?
maybe there's people there who want to make an impact, a positive impact, but I think really to something that's really longer lasting, that transcends once you get that taste of, people giving you money, or you're getting a little bit more notice. You get a little bit of that taste of that fame, sort of, I guess, on there. So I think that's something that's a little bit more longer lasting and more solid in wanting to help and be an encouragement to people is obviously if you have the hope of Jesus and wanting to bring that to people. Um, because we're definitely so, like, obviously we're just human beings. I think our flesh gets in our way, and even with people good intentions getting on stream to do good things with it, I feel like if they don't really have that solidified, it's going to be easier for them to kind of be straight and move away from that purpose and that focus. It'll probably become a number two priority for why they stream. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, like going back to the idea of the growth and wanting to grow, like sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I do need those times to just kind of like step away and just kind of constantly be reminded of why am I doing this, and not get so caught up in the, trying to like hit the growth that I want to see and all that stuff, even though we have been growing pretty good this year. Like, again, I've been super blessed, definitely passed my goal for the year in followers. And next year I do want to, my goal is just to hit like 1,000. I think that'd be just pretty cool number to hit. And then whatever happens, after that, like it's all good. But also with like the new Halo game, trying to see, like obviously I'm enjoying playing it and streaming that, but also like trying to see this as an opportunity also to, do I decide to really dedicate myself into Halo right now and try to be a part of that Halo community? Because I think with the Halo community, it's a lot smaller than, you know, and when I mean smaller, like smaller online with the content creators and streamers and pro aspects. So I feel like there's more opportunity if you are a content creator to get on, play the game and not necessarily get exposure, but be a part of that and really make a difference, like make an impact on that community. So I see like there's an easier opportunity, if I wanted to grind Call of Duty and make a difference to that community, it'd be a little bit harder because I feel like there's everyone plays Call of Duty. You got people who play Warzone, you got the people who are the pros and all this stuff. But with Halo, I see like there's this new opportunity. A lot of people are turning their heads away from games like Call of Duty and Apex to play Halo, to grind it out and all this stuff. And so just trying to see, all right, is this the right direction for it? I mean, I'm enjoying the game. Bottom line, I'm enjoying the game, and I feel like we've had new viewers to the channel, new people coming into our community because of it. But
Oh
again,
yeah,
just like
your
focusing
channel
on,
your channel's had some awesome growth since I met you. Because I remember when I first met you, you were I remember you were like definitely averaging a certain number. Then I tune in now, and I'm like, oh man, like she is like almost like tripled in size compared to like
yeah,
5 months ago. Like
it's crazy.
I was like, is she even gonna remember me? Do I even still matter at this point?
No, I'll still remember you. I like remember people who like first
I'm
chatted and stuff in my
obviously I'm kidding
channels.
around. I hope you know that.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like people always are like, "You're gonna forget me." I'm like, no, like there's literally, I don't know if you've probably been in the chat where the user Mr. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Mr. Ian, it was EIAN.
I do remember him. I do remember him.
That chatter has consistently been part of like and they don't even really talk in my streams. They just drop an emote every time they tune in. So, but they've been super consistent like since I started streaming before I was ever affiliate. So again, I have no idea who that person is, and they don't really like communicate like with words or like how's their day or whatnot. So I don't know them too well, but I know the username and I know that they've been around for a long time, that they watch the channel and that they do drop an emote, when they tune in, which is crazy. But um, yeah, like I will always like I mean I have a pretty good memory, but like for me, like obviously if I'm gonna do the streaming thing and represent Christ well, you gotta care about people. You gotta care about those usernames.
Oh
Um,
yeah, totally. Well,
yeah.
that's just the aspect of being pastoral when you think about it. Is just like investing in people, taking time to them. Like there's a reason why I have a book right here that has the prayer request for everyone. Which like 2 streams ago, I had to like update that hardcore because I just got blown up with so much going on for so many people. And it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like
No.
I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy to do that kind of thing. But like that's just the like it's one thing just to talk about being a Christian streamer, sharing the gospel, but not even talking to your viewers. It's like one thing to say that and just not do it, but to actually like be intentional and to reach out to them afterwards. That's a whole other like aspect that kind of makes like the movement more authentic, if you know what I mean.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And I think that's also like the biggest thing too that people keep coming back is because and I think this is a not necessarily a theory, but a thing that happens in general on Twitch. You'll see people who want to go and engage with smaller channels because they know that if they chat, their message is going to be seen, probably read, and engaged with.
100%. That's totally me.
So
I'm
there's
not gonna lie. I'm
yeah,
totally that guy.
there's people hungry for conversations with people on Twitch. So like even though people may be like maybe you're not a Nick Mercs can barely read his chat. His chat goes like really really fast, like it just goes crazy, like within a second, like you can't even read anything if you were spectating from his chat. That's how fast it's going. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't read from it. He's pretty much engaged with playing with his crew in whatever game. Maybe if he catches a comment in there that strikes something for him to make a comment on, he'll respond, but it's not this engaging conversation with this chat. But at the same time, that works because he's gotten to a point where literally the content of him gaming and hanging out and his commentary is the value for his community. Um, but there is a lot of people who do go to smaller streamers for the sole purpose of having conversations and those interactions and need it. So there's people who are hungry for that. Um, and then I think for the unique thing with Christians, obviously with the Christian tag, we've talked about this getting added. People who are actually going to Christian channels to ask, the tough questions, the conversations they want to have that they're too afraid to ask the Christians in their life on it. I've seen that happen on Dark
Totally.
Lane's channel a
Oh
couple
yeah.
months ago. He had someone who wasn't a Christ follower that came from the Christian community, and was just there, and asking him questions about faith and stuff like that, and sharing his story about why he's been abused by Christians in his life and all this stuff, and
Oh gosh, that's the
so
thing that breaks my heart every
yeah.
time is when I hear that. That's the deal breaker for me. Is every time I hear Christians who just get too far and people get burned by the church. It's a very very real thing. I have multiple friends who do that. What's up? We got everybody in the house now. We got DJ Parrot. We got Sinna's Preya. We got everyone in the chat. Good morning, everyone. How's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. We are just having a little bit of devotional time. We got my bro HerShades right here. We are just to kind of catch everyone up to speed. We kind of started with talking about how streaming for us with the Christian tag, especially all of us are AOG for the most part, is we're talking about how it kind of leads to a life of worship, or how streaming can be an act of worship to us, and we're kind of talking about the response to that and how it gets very intentional, and we're kind of talking about what separates us, and a lot of it is how we're investing in our viewers, how we're taking time to, and how we're trying our best to keep up with the chat for the most part. If any of you guys, Sinister, I know this is kind of the first time you've actually seen one of these morning Devo channels or streams, but if any of y'all want to, this invitation's open to you both. If y'all would like to jump in on my Discord to kind of join in and kind of give 2 cents on it, feel free to join in on the chat. Up to you guys, of course. DJ looks like she's eating cookies. Speaking of HerShade, you still owe me a cookie, by the way.
Oh snap! I mean, I'll send you a cookie. I'll send
Yeah,
you a cookie.
yeah. Send one. What's
Before the
what's
whole
up with that?
family eats them.
Whole family. I have an apartment by myself. It's just me. I got you, DJ. So it looks like DJ is going to be joining us for the most part. I'm gonna,
Sweet, let's
yeah.
go.
Oh yeah, let's get her in here for the most part. Let's see.
Yeah, right now we're talking about specifically people are hungry. They have not just like people who just look for conversations with smaller streamers, but even now with the Christian tag, now you're seeing cases of people going to be able to have conversations that they would be afraid to have with Christians in their real life.
Oh yeah, totally. It's it's a lot, especially what you said a second ago. I talked about being intentional for the most part. We could all agree that there's probably multiple cases out there of guys coming in and starting to stream, and they're just using it as a banner, trying to. But at the end of the day, it's that hidden agenda of just trying to be like what you said, Twitch famous. And I believe that is very toxic. Because for one, it's probably not going to go anywhere. And I just feel that way. And number two, that's got to destroy somebody. Like I feel so bad for guys who go through that, using the name of Christ just for personal gain and strictly that. That's got to be so intense. I couldn't even imagine that. Hey DJ, you with us?
Hi.
Good morning.
Oh.
Well, it's good afternoon for
Good
you,
afternoon.
I guess.
Yeah.
Doing all right today?
Doing good.
All right. Well, we got the important question that everybody on chat wants to know. Like, is what flavor cookie are you eating right now?
Well, I just finished them, but they're like mini donuts. The cookie's actually like chocolate, but it's covered in white chocolate.
Ooh, that
It's
sounds
good.
really good, actually.
It's good,
Can you,
and
can you
they're
send
cheap too, and it's great.
can you send me a box?
No.
I'm coming. Wow, dang man! First HerShades leave me hanging. Now DJ does,
It's $30 shipping, my guy.
and
I don't want to spend that money. I don't have that money. Let's start by that. I don't have that money.
okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start a fund so DJ can ship some cookies to me.
Charity straight to send Pedro.
Yeah, I think
Cookies.
that's been a theme over the last couple of days is starting charity streams to get streamers things. We need to get
Chili
Redeem
and keto
J.
package.
We need Redeem J. He's like a pro at just doing those things on the spot. Like he could like have a commercial ready to go in 5 minutes. Ask Shade, she saw it last night. It was pretty great. Oh man. So okay, DJ. So like, I'm gonna ask you the same question that I asked Shades.
Oh boy.
It's not a bad one. You always panic. It's really not that
I
bad.
always panic. I'm socially awkward, my guy.
Well, that's the symptom of being in the chess club, I guess. I'm just kidding. So, anywho,
That's just rude and uncalled for.
it was a joke. Okay, I was in chess club too in junior high, so I can say that. Anyway, so how do you view you and your channel and you stream? How would you view that as an act of worship?
Define worship, so that we're on the same page.
Okay, so it's not
Like-
just about music. Shades and I both agreed about that. We both kind of agreed that
No,
it's
yeah, for sure.
yeah, we both agreed that worship is basically a response to who God is, what he has done, what he is still doing for us. Basically the big word is response here. And that's my personal definition is that's a response to who God is, what he has done for me, and what he's still doing in my life. And I can go down. So, Redeem J is joining in. Appreciate. We were just talking about you, Redeem J. Like, what are the chances? I just spoke your name, and he just just joined.
That's
Appreciate the
awesome.
follow, my man. Like that was hilarious. I literally just said that. How was I not following? Yeah,
Hi, Jay.
it happens, man. It's no big deal. It's not an issue. Don't worry about it, man. We're happy to have you out. Yeah, we were just
Dude,
talking
AOG
about.
Squad.
Yeah, AOG Scott is in the house. That I was just talking about you, Jay, because we were talking about your stream last night specifically, and I told DJ Para, hey, ship me some cookies. She's like, that cost money. I go, you know what? We got to start a charity stream, and we got to get me a box of cookies. Let's call Redeem Jay because he did that last night with Shadeless on the spot. Like immediately had this like wonderful infomercial ready to go. Had the movement going.
Hilarious.
Oh man, last night's stream, I was like, that was probably one of the most fun streams I'd seen in quite some time because like how
Dude,
much
it's
laughter.
Not fair.
Oh,
Jay, you and Jay, you all stream at my bedtime. Like I can't make it.
You know-
Got late
Too
night
late.
hours. He's got great stream. Like when you have him and TC Warrior, and especially like Dark Dane or Inspiration Youth all together,
Yeah.
it's crazy time.
Oh, you see,
Dude,
like
it's-
Oh, I love
They
it.
stream at 2 a.m. and that's my bedtime. So like I'm already staying up late and I still can't make it.
You see, that's why I raid Redeem J a lot, because he's like one of three guys I know personally that gives good content that's up at that hour. Like when I'm finishing streaming, he's normally about halfway through with his. So I'm like, okay, yeah, we're definitely
Jay's
sending.
awesome.
Oh yeah, I love Jay. Jay is so much fun
We
there.
talked
Him.
yesterday in this stream.
Oh yeah, we did for a bit. Him, Lone Assassin, like there are a couple guys who are up fairly late. Red Firefox, yeah, Red Trevor. Like where I'm like, all right, those are the three that I can normally send someone to. And if those three aren't online and I need to raid somebody, buckle up, everyone. It's gonna be a flip of a coin. So,
Oh my.
oh yeah, which speaking of that, I think this is like a good transition to kind of talk about something else I was thinking about when kind of preparing today's talk. We were talking about how Jay, for the catch you certified dad life. I wouldn't know that, but I will take your word for it. That's when the kids are down, bro. I will take your word for it. That's actually,
Your kids are just going to sleep at 2 a.m. my time. That's
I mean, that's like I know.
you
I
sure?
think I know Jay's in my time zone as well. So like when they're like 9 o'clock hits, that's when time. Me personally, I stream at that time because that's when I'm done with my homework. Like that's when I'm
Yeah.
like officially like good and I've done like at least the work I think I'm satisfied with. So I'm like, you know what? I earned this. I'm gonna play video games and I'm gonna
I
hang out
earned
with my friend. Yeah, I earned this. So well, with that, we're talking about rating. So Jay, we're talking about how streaming is kind of like in its own act of worship. And I view like especially this become more relevant lately because for the first like when I first started streaming, rating was kind of awkward because I'm like I don't know anybody. Like I hardly know these people. I have maybe one person in my channel. Like is it really like beneficial? And I realized something like now that we have DJ, Shade, Redeem J, Sinner's Prayer in the chat, and myself, all of our channels when you look at it are vastly different. Like very, very different. HerShades, you're like
Yeah.
professional Halo player. We got DJ who's yeah, professional DJ. We got professional Rocket League player. We got Sinus Prayer who does a lot of Fortnite.
Professional.
And then we got Redeem
Instead
J.
of professional, let's say potato.
Okay, sure, potato. And then we got Redeem J who does like he's like me, everything under the sun, variety streamer. I see him do a lot of Destiny. And then we got well, we all know what my channel's about. Mine's very, very different. Yeah, so something I've talked to Dabster about as well is like different people respond to different things. And all of our different games that we play are kind of different methods that we use to share the gospel. Like Shades, you said it best. What you said the kindest thing yesterday on your stream, where you're like, if y'all are into horror games, check out Pedro's channel. That's like almost all he plays. And like I tell my friends the same thing. Like I have a friend who's a big Halo fan. I go, hey, check out my friend Shade. She's like diamond level raking over here. Like check her out. She is always killing it. And I have other friends who do like Rocket League. Like my boss DJ, I recommended him your channel. It's
Oh.
like these. Yeah, exactly. Like these are.
Wait.
Wow.
Okay.
What's would you prefer? Okay, never mind. Never
It's a
recommend
little
DJs.
weird, man.
How is it weird? I'm promoting your channel. Would you prefer me not to?
All right, sir.
Like-
I'll shut up.
Yeah.
I get it. When people tell me what their big games they like to play, and there's games that like I don't play or stream, I'm just like, I know a guy, or like I know someone that you guys would like to tune into, and then that, you know, and because me like the goal, like obviously we were talking about earlier, is glorifying God through this and reaching people for Christ. So I know I can't do it alone on Twitch, but there's so many other like awesome Christian content creators here on Twitch on the platform, super diverse. I mean, there's times where we'll overlap on games, but everyone literally is, you know, gifted with their own personality and how they communicate with their chat and their community, but also the games that they enjoy to play and reach people through that. So it's pretty awesome to now get to a point where I know so many Christian streamers that are like at a point where I don't have to worry about rating a channel I don't know. Like you were talking about earlier, like obviously we changed the topic to rating. I know like there's channels out there that I'm putting my community in good hands, and even if we're switching it to a different game or whatnot, like, you know, we were playing Halo last night, we changed it to you still kept that conversations going with my chat that tuned in, because we also got rated right before, or, you know, maybe an hour into before I ended the stream by another Christian channel. So keeping those conversations of, you know, the faith and gaming with those people, and we kept that conversation continuing over to your channel, Pedro, and then, you know, you bringing that over to Redeem J's as well. So it's kind of awesome because now it's, you know, with the whole community together going live and carrying out this mission, carrying out the message of hope, you know, we're more effective in actually making a difference in people's life when they're not just tuning into one streamer or two streamers, but three, four, five, 20 different streamers at a time, getting to know these awesome creators on the platform, but they can go to them and know that they feel loved in those channels and can have those conversations if they feel needed to. And if they pique interest in relationship with Christ because they're like, wow, man, there's a lot of Twitch streamers that know Jesus on here, and they think it's just a coincidence, but not realizing, we all know each other, and we're being intentional with who we raid, and being intentional with how we stream and how we play these games, how we talk and engage with chat. I think, again, and that's how revival starts. It's contagious.
It
that
is.
positivity and that light of Christ is contagious. So,
It is. Jay just put in the chat. He said it right after him and DJ were arguing about who is Potato. They said it takes a lot to trust your channel with another community, and I think that's what kind of makes like the AOG family and like Unashamed Network and Gamers for Christ such a cool thing. Is that, and when you think about it, yes, I'm gonna tie it back to that because that is how God works. Is that it's all one act of worship, is us working together as a team to glorify him, to make his word known to people that we may not associate with on a regular basis. And I think that's where rating is sometimes like a gamble. That's why I'm so happy to be part of so many servers, and I have more that I'm joining. Praise the Lord for that, because I have more evidence that my channel is in good hands. Like I've talked about this a lot recently because it was such a wake up call for me. Where I rated a channel recently, and of course last time we did one of these devotional studies, if we want to call, they're like more podcast type things. They start devotional but go totally into podcast conversation. We were talking about the weight of the Christian tag, and DJ, you remember this story where I saw a guy, he had the Christian tag. And I was like, okay, cool. And on top of that, his name was also Pedro. I'm like, that's enough for me to raid your channel. Like, we're going in, man. This guy is legit as can be. And it turns out he wasn't a believer. His channel had a lot of stuff that I would never even consider doing. And I'm not going to mention what he did, but I was very, like, caught off guard. And I had to, like, send messages out to my viewers, like, I'm kind of sorry that this happened. I didn't know the guy. I think, so it is a lot to kind of put faith in that. And that's why I'm so blessed to be a part of what God's doing on here. Let's see, Jay just put, God is doing something huge on Twitch. I'm so glad to know that we are numbered more than when I began just a year ago. Yeah. It blows my mind every day I come on Twitch. I meet a new Christian streamer out there, and it's so funny because like I'm like, hey, there's a Christian tag, and they're like, wait, what? Like, and then they end up like finding all these people, and like next thing you know, like they're like meeting everyone, and we come full circle. Like I think it's so fun to kind of see what God is doing on Twitch, and it's so crazy. It goes back to the saying, it takes a village. It takes a village to kind of, I know it takes a village to raise a kid, but, to make his work be done, and all of us have such different channels, it's so encouraging to, like, meet everyone, how we're on the same team, and how we're all pulling together, and we all support each other at the same time. Like, that's the best part. Like, I'll always remember when I first, hey, guys, I'm putting a goal up for 60, and, like, everybody who knew me is, like, spread his channel. Let it be known. And like I was at work, I hadn't even woken up yet, and I hit it. Like not even 5 hours later, I was like, wow, I was not prepared for this. Thank you, God, and thank you everybody who made it happen. So it's so,
you're like at 84 now too.
I know, right? Like it's kind of nuts. Like it's growing every week. Like it's definitely encouraging to see the channel go. Not for my glory, of course. For the Lord, of course. That's my big thing. I think all of us can agree is that we're all really just trying to share into each other. Now, continuing on with, like, the worship thing, like, of course, I think another big thing we have is, like, fruitful conversation and how that's been. I was thinking about this, too, because it was kind of like a day where, another one of those seeds where I was kind of getting a little discouraged, where I was like, I don't even know if it's kind of worth it today. I'm kind of tired. I know I put it on Twitter that I'd stream today, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and stream just because why not? It doesn't hurt to do it. And I'm really glad I did. I'm not going to mention said viewer by name, but we got in a big conversation about like a lot of trials and tribulations. And, I tried my best to be encouraging, and it was a really good conversation. It was awesome. And it was kind of a reminder of like, this is why we do what we do, to be a light for each other and how we're there for each other. Like, that's the biggest reason is we're trying to support not just our viewers, but each other as streamers, because we all have stuff that we're going through on a regular basis. And it can be kind of like, what's the word? Defeating, intimidating. I mean, it definitely can be something.
Yeah, 100%. That's why, like, I'm super grateful too for AOG, because, like, obviously, like, yeah, we're representing the org online, and people who may not be part of AOG understand that we also have access to our own Discord server, but I feel like to me that's one of my favorite Discord servers because I'm constantly feeling encouraged in there. Um, Number one, because you're being in a server, number one, with a bunch of other content creators, people who are on that same journey with you, but also that have the faith. And so it's really encouraging that, anyone can go into the prayer request channel, put down any things that they're currently dealing with, and getting that support, getting the prayer request, people, praying for them, and likewise being able to pray for others, and seeing like we're all in this, we're all dealing with stuff that people don't see online. But you have your brothers and sisters in Christ, praying for you in that regard, and even just in the general chat, like just being able to have the conversations and have that fellowship, encourage one another, provide tips on what can we do better with their streams and whatnot, and not just that, being connected to again more streamers, like what Jay was saying, like trusting your channel with other communities. It's so important, who we raid, but also making those connections and telling your viewers to recommend different channels. We all have this same goal, of obviously representing Christ well on Twitch and reaching people for Christ, and we're only going to be able to do that together in unison. And I think that's why, like, even in the Bible, it's like it's crazy because obviously we're all online and digital, but you could really also feel like the Spirit move when two or more gather in His name, and it's the same goes on Twitch.
Totally.
So, like, and even when I'm like live, we all have a big part to play. Even chatters, even the people who don't necessarily stream on Twitch, but are constantly in the chats of these Christian streamers and are also Christians as well, and having those fruitful conversations, engaging with uplifting and encouraging people, adding to the conversation, those people play a vital part as well with the community and building up the community. So it's not just like a me thing. It's not just a you thing. It's all of us as a collective working together to really be a positive light. And so I think with AOG, that also definitely, helped encourage me and kept me pushing me forward. And, LCH keeps talking about how big things are planned for 2022. We don't know what's going to happen, but I am excited and expectant, for great things to happen.
I'm expecting that, like, amateur Overwatch league for our team that he wants. If it's not happening, I'm leaving.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, obviously.
Excited. And that's why, like, when every time I find, because when they first reached out, it was super easy to be, not easy to be a part of it, but they didn't make it this crazy requirement to be part of AOG. It's simply, if you're a content creator or you try to play competitively and, you love God, you represent Christ well, and you want to reach people for Christ, you're basically in. They don't care about numbers and all this stuff. So I feel like it's been a good refresher because it's not really about just making the certain org famous or making yourself famous. It's all about making Christ famous, right, on Twitch. And for sure with people together, with all of us together, we can really make an impact. So that's why, like, every time I find a Christian creator or like my friends, and I try to tell everyone, like, yo, just like apply, like get connected with AOG, like it's not like this like exclusive thing. And it's same for Unashamed Network too. Anyone can become a member. You could go and apply. And I advise people, if you're not a content creator, actually, I don't know, maybe Unashamed Network you also have to be a content creator, because I'm trying to see if there's anything there for chatters.
I actually
to join.
I still haven't joined Unashamed Network. I have their application saved right here, and I just haven't done it. I know, right?
I did it one time. I was like, I'm just gonna do it, because for that one,
well, Sinner's Prayer.
Discord.
Yeah, Sinner's Prayer, like, messaged me one time. He was like, yeah, you should probably get that. And I think I followed him on Twitter, and they followed up with me, and I just haven't done it since.
Just do it.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm the worst. I think it was when I was just getting, like, a lot of the new equipment I got, and I was so busy setting it up, and I wanted to get it up and running, that I just didn't think about all the little things. I know, right? Because I'm irresponsible.
No, you're not irresponsible. Just, like, procrastinate a little bit,
Oh, totally. That is the story of my life. I am so bad at procrastination. It's not even funny.
Same.
But I know, right? Hey, DJ, you're about to go to college pretty soon. I try to break that habit if I were you, or at least make selective.
It's like I procrastinate till the last moment where it's like, okay, if I don't start now, it's impossible that I get it done, and that's when I start.
You see, I have selective procrastination where, like, when it's stuff with my church or with my school or anything like that, I am very on top of it. But if it's all like, oh yeah, I gotta take meat out so I can eat dinner tonight, that's 30 seconds. I can wait. I'll go do this or I'll go do that. It's 2 o'clock. That's plenty of time. I'll do it before I leave. And then I forget. And I'm like, oh, great. Now I gotta order out. Darn it. Like, stuff like that. Like, little things I'm so bad at. But I'd get out of that habit because eventually, next thing you know, you're gonna procrastinate. And it's 10:30 at night and you have a 7-page paper due at midnight that you haven't even started. Yes, that's very specific for a reason.
I was gonna say.
Oh,
It's kind of sus.
oh, totally. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna get off topic for a minute just because it's funny. This is actually my proudest procrastination moment. It was actually, I think I got off work, I got home, and it was actually less than that. I think it was 11 o'clock at night, and I realized the paper was due in an hour, and I thought it was gonna be due the night before. I hadn't even gotten my sources, nothing, and it was like 5 pages. So I was like, well, we better get going. I found my sources, and I typed up 5 pages. I turned that bad boy in, and I got like an 87 on that paper. 5 pages in 30 minutes, and an 87. I was like, I was on cloud 9. I was like, let's never do that again, but good night. That was insane. I was so exhausted from that, but okay, yeah, we got off topic very much there.
I think you got off topic.
Oh, I totally did. Hey, it's my channel, okay?
It's relevant. It's relevant to the conversation.
Totally, yeah, because then when you start procrastinating about sharing the gospel, then what? Oh, and we're right back to it. Bam, look at that. We are there. Look at that. Only God can do that kind of thing. What were we talking about?
We were talking about the Discord server.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're talking about the Discord servers. Yes, that's right.
Online.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm trying to think of other Discord servers. So, like, I guess for chatters, there's also God mode activated. You can pretty much join their server. You don't have to be a streamer or anything like that. God Squad
I've heard of
Church
God.
as well.
God Squad is
You can
awesome.
Follow Elevation Church, their youth. They have a Youth Nation Discord.
Do they
so
really?
They do. So there's places where you can connect with other believers and other gamers as well that I highly recommend. But if you are a content creator, look into Unashamed Network, look into God Mode Activated, look into to AOG and get plugged in. And I know Trevor's co-founder of his own org.
Yeah, he's starting one.
Sports. I know that one was kind of on pause because they had other people that were co-leading it, but now it's just him. So I think he's pretty much trying to pick that back up from the ground up. But you also have, that if you're looking to compete in esports and also represent Christ, that's another good avenue. I don't know how farther along the line they are with setup with, having a Discord and all that, but his community as well, the cross community Discord, is massive, and that's a super active Discord where people are, a bunch of Christians together, having fellowship as well. So, a lot of communities. There's a lot of good communities out there to be plugged in, even if you're just a chatter, to get connected to the greater whole. But yeah, and that's what we need. We just need people to unite together.
I think you would agree, for the most part, that this kind of goes back down. Like, when it comes to, like, especially our walk with the Lord, I'm very big on personal responsibility. So, like, when I hear, like, especially, like, when I was in youth ministry, I would hear students be like, well, I just don't have time, I don't have this, or, like, especially kids who get their driver's license, and they're, like, 18 years old, and, like, well, I want to come to church, but it just depends on, like, if I can get up. I'm like, that is a horrible, I think it comes down to, like, personal responsibility. Like, if you want to, calling me out because I still haven't filled out the Unashamed Network thing, like, if you're a Christian and want to be on Twitch and want to get involved but haven't, it's like, here, there are all these options. Like, it's really on you, but I still think it's part of our job as Christian content creators to kind of make those known, to kind of be like, hey, look, this is like mine. If you don't like this one, here's another one, even though they're all pretty much almost the exact same thing. They're just different games that we play for the most part.
Yeah. No, there's definitely, it's crazy. Like, when I first started, I only thought there was only really 2 major Discords in the faith, which was God Mode Activated. When I first was on Twitter and looking for Christians and gaming, God Mode Activated was probably the only thing I saw. And that was a couple years ago, like maybe 2018, 2019. I started getting back into like whole gaming.
I want to say there's another one I heard of called, like, I think it's called like I think it's like the Blessed Boat or something like that. I don't know that one. I've heard about it.
Oh, the Blessing Boat.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Warrior of Light.
Oh, okay, yeah. I heard of it fairly recently.
Part of it, but it was interesting. I wouldn't say I would do it again, but
not sure what that means, but okay.
Definitely for like, cause like it didn't. Sorry to put it this way, but it didn't really do much of a difference to me, cause I had the same viewers that I had before. so
Oh,
it
okay,
didn't really
gotcha.
make an impact. But for those that are like have lower viewers, yeah, it would totally help out.
Oh,
So
okay,
what is
cool.
that? Isn't that like more of the shout out type of community instead of
Well,
more of a like
it's not
actual
like a
community
community;
focus?
it's an event. So like,
Uh,
Oh,
there's
okay.
like a day of every month where like a bunch of streamers will stream for like an hour and then they rate the other person. So it's like a blessing vote.
I see.
But I
I
didn't
get
really
it.
like that I had to stream just for an hour. It's like just an hour, you know what I mean? Like I want to stream longer.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah, I
like
see. Yeah, yeah,
what an hour
but
and
yeah, like for people that are looking into like getting out there that they're not affiliate yet, there's a lot of people that have got an affiliate because of the blessing vote. So it
okay.
really helps them.
Okay,
yeah.
that's a good. Okay, I didn't know much about it. I just heard about it fairly recently. So with that,
There's
someone said
also
something. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna also say also Gamers for Christ. We had a shout out Gamers for Christ Discord too.
Oh,
Being
I
Gamers
able
for
love,
to,
Christ is great.
I love
yeah,
Gamers for Christ. That is awesome. We're just trying to
Yeah.
get it off the ground. It's a hit or miss, but the goal is to help reach affiliate. Okay, I got you. Thank you for filling us in, Redeemed. Appreciate you, brother. So that's what he said. He said Warrior
Yeah.
is trying to get it off the ground. Okay, gotcha. So here's one actually for you. Somebody said, I think it was Shades. You said this earlier, and this kind of got my mind going specifically for you two because y'all actually do tournaments and stuff. So when it comes to like the esports thing, how for you guys personally, like each one could take a moment. How would you guys really take the time to really focus? Like, okay, I want to do this tournament. I want to do well, but it's not for my glory, it's for Christ. How do y'all prepare for that? How do you kind of do that kind of thing? Oh, y'all are the guru. Thank you for the host. Appreciate you, my man. So how would you? Oh yeah, right, man. This is a yeah. This is why I love these devotional times. They're so much fun and they're awesome. I really dig these. So for you guys, as like guys who do like you do Halo competitively, DJ, you do Rocket League competitively. How how do y'all handle like keeping it as an act of worship? Like, please explain like y'all's personal thing.
DJ, I'll let you go first. I feel like you
All
probably
right.
have more. I've only done one tournament, so
I've done one
you go.
tournament as well.
Yeah. Hey, lead the way,
Um,
DJ. Lead the way.
well, with the one tournament that I've had, it really helped to have Gilbert kind of leading us because it was me, Cam, and Gilbert. Cam and I are the same age pretty much. We're a month. I'm a month older. Hi. So Gilbert was kind of our captain. He was there for us. He organized everything, like when we were gonna meet and all that. He said that we should meet before so that we could sit and pray and we could calm each other down because we were all kind of freaking out. Except Gilbert. Gilbert was fine.
Welcome back, Dave.
But we were super nervous, and Gilbert pretty much said, "Hey, let's just get together. Let's just pray. Let's spend some time in the Word, and then we can start the tournament." And that's what we did, and that really helped. And it also helps to have Armor of God as our name because it kind of reminds us of the whole point.
True. That's a big one there.
Yeah, it's really good.
That is good,
Yeah.
actually. Sounds like yeah. That's why I love Gilbert, man. That guy is so intentional with everything he
Gilbert's
does.
great. He's like a mentor to me.
Oh yeah, he is awesome. He's yeah, he's another one of those dudes I just have like pretty much everyone in AOG I have like utmost respect for. They're all just such down to earth people. Okay, Shades, now up to you. Now you tell. How do you do that? Like especially when you did your
Yeah.
Halo tournament. Like actually, yeah, that was fairly recently. So yeah, that's probably still fresh in your mind.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, like I'm part of AOG as a content creator, and I don't plan on switching the title from content creator to like a competitor. I don't see myself like an esports athlete, and especially because it is a grind. Like especially for you got to put in time. You got to put in time to practice and all
Definitely.
that stuff. And
And it's a lot
I
of
don't
time
think
too.
yeah, and like I love like playing games competitively. Like I think you guys will see that from any game I play on the channel when it comes to FPS games. Like I do want to win, I do want to play well,
Yeah.
but that's not like the end all be all goal, right? Um, but I know for sure like at a competitor level, I could not guarantee putting in that time. There's so much more things happening in my life that I feel like if I continued to focus down that route, I would have to sacrifice even more time to really, really hone
Yeah.
in that craft. But in terms of competing for fun, and that's kind of like where it was kind of easy to go into it. I was like, you know what, I'm doing this ladies 2v2 tournament. It's just for fun. I don't care about winning. I don't really need the prize money. If we win it, if that's cool, it's just a cool thing to achieve. But it was more about being a part of that, especially that being the first like ladies official Halo tournament, there's an opportunity, like I was talking to you, Pedro, earlier, that there might be this big opportunity, not necessarily a big opportunity, but an opportunity to get involved and be a part of the Halo community, and especially in the ladies aspect where, and I lucked out also. My 2v2 partner was Magic Moonshot, and she's also another Christian. She happens to be another Christian, and she also streams. She used to work for Advanced GG, so
Hmm.
we became mutuals on Twitter through Aki and Peach because she's looking to get into casting, which I think she would be fantastic for. So there was times during the beta for the Halo Infinite test flights she was looking to cast people's streams. So Aki and Peach like tagged my stream under her tweet and was like, "You need to check out HerShades because HerShades is grinding this and all this stuff." And we were playing it pretty competitively and stuff, and so. Not competitively, but just like I had a squad and we were going in and we were doing call outs and it was a good time. So she came and casted that, but that's how we became mutual. So when she saw I was pretty much free for that ladies tournament, she wanted to pair up, and I was like, yes, we're gonna have a blast, we're gonna have a good time. So already going into the mindset that my duo partner is great, we're gonna have a good time, the vibes are good, but we do want to win. So like, it's not just like, hey, we're, whatever it is, what it is, and we did pretty well. Like we lost the first match, but everything else we did pretty well. But going into it, I remembered praying before like I went live and started playing that I was just like, honestly, like win or lose, like I just like God, I just pray that I represent you well, you know, in my interactions, not just with streaming to my community or to people tuning in, but also, to the other competitors. It's an opportunity to be a light in general. And it's being a light to your duo partner, to your teammates, being a light to your community, anyone who's watching, being a light to even there was possibility that our games could have been casted by the ladies hosting it. That didn't happen because we were in the losers brackets, but still the possibility of other people in the community showering light on your channel, that's more eyeballs and more people like, obviously seeing who you are and how you carry yourself. And that's the thing, like obviously with gaming and competing, you're not like killing someone in Jesus name, like literally you're not like preaching while you're playing, but the way you carry about yourself matters because people might see other people and they see them like dropping f-bombs while they're competing because they're just in the heat in the moment, but they see people who are positive and having a positive good composure and fun to watch whether they win or lose. They're like, I like that person, I'm gonna follow them, and then they stick around more and they found out you're a person of faith and this is what you're all about, and they're like, man, I guess that makes sense why they are the way they are, and they want to support you, and then they're interested in your faith. So again, it's just all about keeping that composure and doing it for Christ instead of for yourself. So it's all about perspective, really.
Shades, you
Again,
said
yeah.
you said some great stuff there. Like, my favorite part of what you just said was like people noticing you keeping your composure, and they're like, "What is that like? What is it?" And they're like, "Oh, it's Christian. That's the thing." I have a personal philosophy when it comes to like evangelism in general, ministry in general. Is the most effective way to share the gospel is to live as Christ intended, not how you think, but literally just follow His example on a regular basis, and just keep acting in love, being cool, and not being like obnoxious. Especially in like, let's be honest, we all of us kind of follow esports to an extent, but it can be a very toxic thing. And people
Yeah.
notice that, they're like, what is different? Especially like it could be very frustrating the time put in. Like Jay just put in the comments a minute ago, he said, "Why I can't become an esports athlete? There's no extra time." It is insane
Yeah.
how much time it takes. Like, and this is why I've always never wanted to go into it, because of my dad. He's in property management, and an esports team, a local one, actually rented out one of his units, and he was blown away like when he went to go visit just for like a wellness check, just to kind of see, that's what he does, new residents, and they were just going, and they'd been going since like early morning, and they weren't stopping. He was like, that is just wild to me. It's like, yeah, they don't even pay it, somebody else does, they just live there. I'm like, yep, that's how it works. Those gamer houses, that's a thing they do. It's like, it's so time consuming, so I can easily see how it's so easy to get bent up, because like everything, suddenly when you go into the esports scene, it's not about the ministry, it's still at the end of the day a job, and you don't do well, you can possibly lose that job. It's like, how do you find that
Yeah.
balance? And it's easy to talk about it, but suddenly when you're in it, it's probably a whole new thing. So that's why I was curious about it. It's funny, this kind of came up too. I was thinking about this the other day because my mom watches a bunch of like random YouTube documentaries, and one on pro gaming came up, and like streaming and all that, and she knows I'm a Twitch streamer, so she saw this and saw how much these guys make, and immediately texted me. He's like, "Hey, just so you know, if you ever want to switch and go full time, I totally endorse it." She's like, "Go for it." Seesaw like, do it, and support me. And I'm like, yeah, the
Watch
amount
the
of time.
documentary so I can send it to my mom.
Oh, do you want to go? Do you want to go full
No,
time one day?
no, I don't. I know. I'm absolutely terrified of, because like my channel's been peaking ish. Like I used to have like around 5 average viewers, and now I'm getting 14.
Let's go.
Well, look at
Yeah,
that.
honestly, it's absolutely insane. But I'm honestly terrified of it. Like I want to keep it this way. I don't want it to peak more. I don't want it to peak more.
Oh, I know what
Because
you
I'm
mean.
I'm I'm a huge introvert. I'm a huge introvert. So like streaming for me was like a way to be myself
Mm-hmm.
in a way. Like I've been streaming for around 2 years, almost three, and at the time that I started streaming, I was being bullied in school. I was in a rough time, so streaming was like, okay, now I get to take off the mask that I have in school and or in between family, and I can just be myself.
Oh, totally. Sorry to hear that
Um,
you went through
and there's
that.
actually no, it's fine. It's actually like I don't really like going back to the whole tournaments thing. I don't really talk about it much, but I actually go to a lot of chess tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm currently in one. I have one Tuesday, and I have to finish one Wednesday. And there's another one that I got invited to in January. So it's like a lot going on in that. And I feel like about the getting frustrated thing, it's really hard in chess because it's so easy to get frustrated at myself. But when I'm playing Rocket League, I don't get frustrated as much because it's a team effort. And like I don't get frustrated at my teammates, but I still get frustrated at myself, and that's a really hard thing to do is to
Mm-hmm.
like get out of the habit of thinking that you're less than someone and stuff like that.
Oh, totally. And I know, I hope everyone knows, like, we're not dogging, like, the full time stuff. Because I know where DJ put, I might as well be full time, just need the finances to match. I do
Yeah.
believe that some people are built for that. Like, I believe that some people totally can have a calling to go into full time streaming and, use Christ as that. I mean, look at Susie Live. That's what he does. And he does, like, fantastic job of that. Like, and I totally endorse that. I was just, I think that's something I think most people do. Because me personally, like, I have, like, I'm a musician. I have other things I'd like to do worship leading wise and stuff like that. Now somehow in the future that becomes like a thing on Twitch where I can be a full-time worship leader online, like, doing that kind of thing, then yeah, I would totally be on board for that. But it's hard enough being a worship leader, let alone doing one online. I can't even imagine how difficult that must be.
Yeah.
Like I would age horribly. I'd look like I'm 60 and I'm like barely 35. Like all those things. Oh man, it'd be a rough one. But at the end of the day, like, and I think that's the pressure we think about too when it comes to like full time game playing, is that it's not just about the games. I mean, it's cool to think about it, but it really isn't just about the games. Like the work that goes in outside of it, like even just kind of like planning like today's starting point for the conversations and like the backup questions that were related to it, just in case it's like, all right, nobody's awake, and it's gonna be like a yep, I agree, and then like awkward silence, like, and then like planning the rest of the week, and then Shades, you have merch that's now coming out as well, and DJ, you got like Rocket League practice, all the extra things. It could be like semi overwhelming at the same time.
It really does. Like, I can put some of my like recent experience out there, I guess. I have not been eating and I've been losing weight, and that's an issue. Cause I'm in two chess clubs right now. I'm about to be in three. I'm going today to the other one. Um,
Wow.
so for example, my schedule yesterday, I went to go give the presents to the little guys that I help with the charity stream.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had to rush home, eat lunch somehow, and then I had to go back out and into the chess club. Then I had another chess club in an hour difference from the other one, so I had to get home from the bus, and the bus was late, so I had to run home, and then I had to run up the stairs because there's no power in my building. So I had no time to eat dinner at all, and it's a mess. My schedule's a mess right now, and I need to figure that out because I can't be doing all that stuff. Plus, I was planning on streaming after all that, so
I think
even less
that's
time to do anything.
Yeah, I think that shows sometimes you kind of need to like take a break and just kind of like breathe. So that's why like,
Yeah,
especially I remember
definitely.
you spoke about this yesterday or 2 days ago. I can't remember when it was, and you were talking about the power outage, and I was
Yeah.
like, man, like maybe it's a good thing. Now that I heard what the day you had, I'm like, yeah, I think it was a good thing you had to cancel that stream. I think that was kind of God intervening a little bit, being like, you need a moment to
Yeah.
breathe and
And
abide in
actually,
me.
the other chess club that I was going to, yeah, actually canceled. So I had time to eat, which I enjoyed. Dude, I had time to sit down and just watch Marvel movies while eating, and I haven't done that in such a while.
Look at God, won't He do it?
It was great. It was great.
Oh yeah, I think that's something Shades and I were talking about at the very beginning of this conversation. We are talking about how it's important for us to kind of take time and look out for ourselves a little bit there. And we talked about how like as Christian streamers, especially those just starting, it's very easy to I'm going to stream every day and just get numbers. It's like no, we need to take time to readjust, look after ourselves,
Yeah.
and kind of refocus our attention to why we're streaming in the first place. So this whole conversation started with how streaming is an act of worship. It's our own personal act of worship, and how we're trying to spread the gospel through that. And as we've discussed, a lot of challenges that none of us really thought about. I had like my one or two, and we've really gone like all over the place. And one I was thinking about as we're talking is, of course, the threat of it being just an identity of like I'm a Christian streamer and I'm part of these servers just for the sake of being part of these servers, just to be like, hey, look at me. It's like you see that a lot in like I'm in ministry. You see that a lot with a lot of these guys who are like, if I make connections at this church, work at this church, get involved in this group over here, then I'm set and I'm good for when I graduate. And I'm like, that is not at all the purpose of why we're in ministry. Like, you're not in it to gain, to get your name out there. You're not in it so you can advance in the field. No, it's you're doing it so God can advance in the field. You're doing it to to further His kingdom, and it's
Yeah.
yeah, it can be hard. It can be like
Yeah.
I think we all go through seasons where we're just like very much like I am totally focused on it and I'm doing great. And then we definitely have ours where we're like, man, my viewer count was a lot lower compared to like 2 days ago. What's going on?
Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
discouraging.
yeah,
Oh,
it can
and
be discouraging. To kind of piggyback off a little bit about the, taking the breaks when you need it, and then also recapping on the competing style. So obviously, when it comes to competing in esports too, and representing Christ, this is weird because this is where I'm gonna go juxtapose uh, the two ideas. So when competing, like it was weird, it was different. Like the goal obviously was to win, but like not necessarily. That wasn't like the end all be all thing. It was representing Christ well in that sphere. So like, and I also agree with DJ Para. Having a teammate helps because then you're less frustrated. Like, it wasn't just you that lost. It's a teamwork effort. But you're not gonna get mad. Like that's just
Yeah.
not the point. But also I think in those moments because I obviously going into the tournament I was focused on just being a representative of Christ. Well, like Christ's strength and resilience, and again keeping my composure. I wasn't getting upset if we lost, if we didn't play well, and I didn't like say things like, "Oh, well, the other team maybe they had this, blah blah blah," like coming up with like the excuses us gamers like to say like, "Oh, he had aimbot or this stuff and that." I was just like, no, they're just better and they played fantastic, and it's just awesome to be able to compete at that level against people that are like really great and just like kind of uplifting others, like even though they caused your defeat. But again, just going into the mindset of the resilience of letting God's be your source of strength, and that kind of kept my composure. And then winning, even we lasted for like 6 hours into the tournament. Like we lost the first game, we were in losers eliminations bracket, but we were winning more games than we lost games in that tournament, and that itself is just like, praise to God that we
Yeah.
survived this long and we had a blast. And when even with just winning, like even if I won the whole thing, I would have just been giving glory to God. Like I don't care about myself. Making those moments to praise and glorify God in those, and that's in itself what we were talking about earlier today with worship.
mm-hmm.
So even competing could be worship to God. Again, it's all about the perspective and why you do what you do. Um, but then going into the off, so I was like not streaming for the past couple of days. Like yesterday was my first stream after a couple of days before the previous week, and I was grinding the Halo grind. So one of the things I'm doing is grinding that rank, trying to get to that Onyx. And I felt like when I streamed ranked, I didn't do well because I couldn't focus 100% on competing at the level I needed to
I
compete,
agree.
and then also engaging with my chat. So I found this disconnect where I was frustrated with myself because I was like, I can't chat with chat. The one thing that I should be focused on, people on Twitch. And at the same time, I want to win. I want to hit this Onyx to like prove myself to hit that goal, and I can't do the two. And then I was grinding it offline as well, and I was having a bad week in ranked. I like lost some progress, really bummed about it. Again, my whole focus is trying to hit that ranked goal. And I also kind of felt I was playing also with one of my friends, Excessive. He doesn't stream often. He does stream from time, but he's also another Christian gamer, really awesome dude. And he's also cracked the Halo, but he was also playing. We were playing some ranked, and we were just having rough days. And he was just like, honestly, like, dude, I think God's just telling me to take a break. So he took a break, and then I'm just here like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, that's you. I'm gonna keep grinding this game, and then I'm
What a
like,
nerd.
losing all my games. And I'm just like, man, maybe I just need to slow down. Like, this is the right direction for me. I feel like for the channel and all that stuff, and I love this game, and I see these opportunities that I can glorify God, reach people for Christ with, and I was just like, maybe I just need to like change my focus. Like, I'm so focused on trying to hit this ranked, and I'm getting frustrated, and it's not good. So when I came back to stream yesterday, I was like, I'm not gonna play Halo because I want to leave the weekly challenges that came up so I could stream that and not be a sweat playing ranked. And I decided to do that. I didn't play any ranked last night on stream. Had a blast though playing the normal games, completing my challenges. I finished them all. But most importantly, I think we had some really good conversations with people. Had an awesome raid from Super Shadow, Super Blessed, and it's crazy. Again, like the moments when I start to focus less on the things that I guess I selfishly want to focus on, and again, be reminded of why I'm doing this and want to glorify God. He brings those opportunities for me to talk about my faith, to reach people and encourage people, and really allow me to utilize the gifts that he's given me. So I had a fantastic stream yesterday, and I didn't play an ounce of ranked. So again, it's all about that focus. Like, don't stray away. It's so easy to get straight away too. It's so easy. And so I think also with the break coming up, like taking a forced vacation, spending time with family for the holidays is a good thing. But also being reminded, okay, what's the direction that I'm going into this new year? How am I going to further continue to do it with what God's given me, the opportunities he's given me, the gifts that I have, to continue to glorify him and be of service to other people. So trying to figure out the balance, trying to like not necessarily forget the ranked grind, because I still think there's still a good thing to go in. Right now that's the thing to do, is play ranked, and people are looking for people who are grinding rank and watching that kind of content. But again, just not losing that focus on Christ, and keeping that composure too, because kept the composure in the tournaments, but during the rank grind offline, I didn't keep that composure, and it was frustrating. So
oh man,
it's all about the perspective, really. You got to have that resilience of Christ with you.
Definitely. Yeah, I very well said, Shades. Very well said. I think we can all agree. I've heard a lot of similarities. We've had all of our different experiences in streaming. We talk about different things we've all done. I think the biggest way to keep that focus that we've talked about, we're all in agreement. That's the biggest thing, is to stay in the Word. Like I'm holding up my Bible up to the camera so everyone can see it. Stay in that Word. Everyone said that we always open up every stream with prayer. Well, at least off stream before we start. I think that's like overall the easiest way for us to stay humble, to stay in that. Like Redeem J put on the comments, he said, this is literally how I stay humble with my TikTok. I don't do this for myself, it's for his kingdom. If not, then I'm not doing it. Very well said. A little bit of encouragement. I know, DJ, you saw Dave put up, I'm your fan, guys. I never imagined that Twitch could serve to share the gospel. We do a great job. DJ said it best. That's all him. That's all the Lord. That's not us. God is really the one that kind of built this community. God's the reason why we all met in the different ways that we did. He's definitely in charge of this whole thing. He has this whole movement going on. So I shouted out everybody, like, on y'all. Like, I gave a quick shout out to DJ, of course, Dave. If you want to check out their channel, Shades as well, Redeem J. I gave the AOG tag on Twitter. So you can see this whole movement going on of people doing things on Twitch, and God is using video games of all things to share his gospel. It's such it's so exciting to see what's next, especially now that 2021 is coming to a close and 22 is coming up. Shades, you said it best, that AOG apparently has a lot going on coming up pretty soon, which I'm super excited about as well. I can't wait to see what God has planned for all of our channels. It's gonna be, it's definitely gonna be exciting to see. So looks like it's about almost time. We're gonna have to wrap this up pretty soon for the most part, but I want to thank you both for coming in and kind of giving your insight to that. Those of y'all who know, like, this is not just a one-time thing. We're probably gonna do at least one of these devotionals every every once a week, at least like every morning, not or in the morning sometime. As you guys know, I've known you both for a while, so this invitation is open to you both. So if you're ever like having a morning off and stumble on it, and you see like, hey, there's an opening to jump in, feel free to jump in. Like I'll send you the link to join in the conversation. We'd love to have you. You both brought some great points from two different channels. Like, oh, there's three very different channels that we're chatting here. So it was nice to see us all gather in the name of the Lord. And that was so encouraging to see that. So thank you guys. For those of y'all watching, check out DJ Para, check out HerShades. You know, DJ does a lot of that Rocket League. HerShades, she says she does that Halo grind. Two of the coolest, most awesome people I've met on Twitch who just really want to use like that esports scene to share the gospel.